My glasses. Ladies and gentlemen, athletes, friends, welcome to the inaugural Breakfast of Champions event. Today is historical. This event has never been done before. Never have we brought together champions from various sports in this town and celebrated their accomplishments. This is truly a first. My name is Ron Weiss. I'm proud to represent the board of Sport Aurora. The board is proud to bring this event to our 21 member organizations. Sport Aurora is the largest sport organization in this town because we all come together with a common vision. That vision that includes excellence, like we'll celebrate today. Let me ask a bit of help from you. Can I ask anyone in this crowd who's volunteered some time for one of our member organizations? If you've been a coach, you've been an assistant coach, a manager, a team mom, if you've done anything to help this experience that we have in sport, could I ask you just to stand, please, today? Thanks very much. You just look around and you see the contributions that are being made all the time, every day, on every sport field and every pool, every rink. Without these people, we just can't do the job that needs to be done in this town, and not only this town, but all across the province and across the country. So thank you very much, all the volunteers that contribute to sport in Aurora and around Aurora. Now, before we get started with the breakfast and the awards, I want to thank our piper, Andrew Keelyside from St. Andrew's College, for leading the ceremony and piping in the athletes. Can we give Andrew a Sport Aurora thanks? There are also some people in the audience this morning who deserve some recognition and thanks. So first, I'd like to say welcome to our federal MP, Lois Brown, for joining us in this celebration. Lois, could you stand up, please? Our federal government is deeply invested in sport, and I can tell you from personal experience that every time I come knocking on Mrs. Brown's door that's some advice or direction, it is always given freely, candidly, and accurately, and I thank her for that. Likewise, we invited Frank Cleese, our member of provincial parliament here, but he had to be away for the weekend, so I want to thank him, however, and also thank the Trillium Foundation, because the Trillium Foundation is part of this success of this organization. The Trillium Foundation has given us an award, and they're partly responsible for helping us do what we do here today. So I'd like to thank the Trillium Foundation and Frank Cleese and the provincial government for that. We also have our town partners here today. I'll ask Mayor Jeffrey Daw and Councillors John Abel, Sandra Humphreys, and Paul Peary to stand and be recognized. And I don't know if I see Al Downey here yet, but I know Al was scheduled to come. So if you folks would stand for a moment and be recognized, thank you very much for your attendance today. I want to thank the town for the support they show us all by their attendance, but also their continued commitment to sport. It's probably a good time for me to elaborate on this important partnership, and so I'll tell everyone here that we're privileged in Aurora to have people who have to make tough decisions about where priorities are made in this town, and to have those decisions always being made with the quality of life and sport and recreation being foremost in their minds. The cooperation we have in this town is almost unique in my experience, and it's something we value and will continue to nurture in the future. So thank you, Town of Aurora. To help make this celebration special, we have some people who have taken time out of their lives to make the morning even more interesting. Our guest presenters, Peter McClellan. Peter, would you stand up, please? And Summer Mortimer, who was the flag bearer. Summer, could you stand up? I know you're here, Summer. There we are. Both will be introduced at length, but I wanted to thank them at the outset here. I also see Eric Cartledge in in the group here. Eric represents Parasport Ontario, and I want to personally welcome him and thank him for this celebration. It's my honor now to introduce a Sport Aurora board member who a year ago stood up and said that he would like to make the Breakfast of Champions a reality. He's a guy who's shouldered the responsibility of leading this committee and is responsible for getting you here today. He spent hours with this committee and making sure the details have come together. I'm happy to introduce the chair of the Breakfast of Champions Committee, a master duck, my friend, and my dog Daisy's healer, Dr. Doug Legale.
So the day is finally here. It's been a lot of hard work, a lot of hours, and I just want to thank everybody for coming out, first of all the athletes. This is something to cherish. It's our inaugural Breakfast of Champions event, and just by seeing the number of people we have out here means how important sport is to the town of Aurora and all its citizens. So thank you very much. Oh, sorry, can you hear? Okay. I would also, at this time, like to talk about some of our community partners. They're our sponsors. Without our sponsors, we couldn't do this. And first and foremost, and I want to echo what Ron said about Trillium, our Trillium grant. They are our primary contributor, and without them, we all wouldn't be here today. So I want another round of applause for Trillium grant. Sorry, I'm still... Okay. The next sponsors that I'd like to talk about, and they're going to be up here during the morning to present. So they won't have to stand up right now because they will be introduced later. But I want to mention Nothers Signs and Recognition, the town of Aurora, and in particular the mayor's office for their donation. I would also like South Lake Wealth and Estate Group to be recognized. And finally, Seneca College. So thank you very much to all of those sponsors. You will also note on your tables, you'll see table sponsors. Okay, so these people have donated money, and I would like to recognize them as well. The first we have Tom and Jerry's Bistro, Michael and Taylor Dinner. If you're here, then please stand up and have some recognition. Thank you. The next is Gardner, Miller, and Arnold, barristers and solicitors. Jerry Miller, would you please stand up? Thank you very much. Rec Cycle and Sports. Doug Adair is unfortunately unable to attend, but I wanted to thank them as well. And then we have Shoeless Joe's. Again, their owner is away and out of the country, but we do appreciate their sponsorship. And finally, I'd like to thank the Legale Veterinary Hospital for, since I'm already standing, so. The next thing I wanted to do is talk a little about the importance of sport, and it means something different to everybody. To me, sport is a place where it doesn't matter if it's at the rink, so the arenas, it doesn't matter if it's at the ball field, it doesn't matter if it's at the soccer pitch or the gymnasiums, it doesn't matter if it's in the pool. But it's a place where everybody gathers, it's a place where friendships are started and old friends are reunited, especially, for example, after a summer break and hockey gets back together. It's a place where we see our youth and adults play sport, but more importantly, it's where we see our youth learn life lessons. And these life lessons are dedication, hard work, perseverance, working together, and most importantly, finishing what you start. And I think that as I have two sons right now that are the age, one's in hockey and one's in swimming, and to see them flourish, to see them feel like they're part of a team, And to feel that, most importantly, is they gain some self-confidence. And I think that's very important, not only to them going forward in life, because they will continue with their sport, but also just I think it overall helps with their education and makes them a better person, a better citizen. So I really feel strongly about that. The other thing I want to mention is, as we finish our careers in sport, whether we make it all the way to the top or whether we continue to go into other facets of life, we all come back to sport. I know personally, I love hockey, and what I missed the most was the guys in the room. It was before the game. Of course, it was great after. It was great during the game, but what I look on most, and also back in my days when I was playing in rep hockey, was the camaraderie that I felt with these guys, and that I was part of a team, and we had a common goal, and I found you really missed that, and I'm sure if I asked our MC, Jim Thompson, I bet that would be one of the things that he would say after his career in the NHL, what he missed. It's missing the players that you battled with, you went to war with. And I really feel that sport never stops. You continue to play sport, you continue to enjoy it through your entire life. And that's what I love personally the most about sports. Finally, what I like to do, because I know we want to get on to breakfast here, but I would like to acknowledge our committee. Without the committee, without the people helping me, we wouldn't be able to do this. So when I announce their names, if they would please stand up. So Bruce Cuthbert. Javed Khan. Reg Chappell. Mike Sturgis. Okay. And I would like to say a big thanks to Ron Weiss. Ron is our president. He does so many things. I have no idea how he finds the time to accomplish everything. But there's numerous emails I've sent and phone calls, and this is my first time being the chair of a committee, and so I needed a lot of help. And I really appreciated his guidance and support. And finally, this would not be happening without Lori Mueller. Where's Lori? Can Lori please come up? Yes. I know you don't want to come up, Lori, but you have to. So Lori told me not to do this. That's the reason I'm doing it. Lori, you were fantastic. She is such an organized woman. To have all of this set up, she's the one basically who's the glue that stuck us all together. And I just can't tell you how much I appreciated your hard work and your efforts and your dedication. So thank you very much. So I hope everyone enjoys their breakfast, enjoys the morning, and I'd like to bring Ron Weiss back up to the podium. You're welcome. Oh, sorry, can you do that?
Thanks, Doug. Just before we get started, when we came in the door, I was talking to my friend Mike, and Mike said that he had a bit of an announcement that he'd like to make on behalf of the All Kids Can Play program. So, Mike, do you want to say a few words on that? Okay, let me do it. Mike Dinner is he's been in. How long have you been in this town? Your whole life, right? 50. Well, we won't say how long. But Mike and Tom and Jerry's has kindly donated a certain percentage of their proceeds of July and August to the All Kids Can Play program, so that children who are having financial difficulty can play sports in this town. So I want to thank both Mike and his son Taylor. I coached Taylor when he was a lot smaller, so I have a good bond with them. It's now my pleasure to turn the morning over to a very interesting guy and one who I know you'll enjoy as your master of ceremonies. Jim Thompson was born in Edmonton, Alberta, and moved to Markham at the age of 15 to pursue his hockey career. After playing with the OHL Toronto Marlboros, Jim was drafted in 1984 by the Washington Capitals. After a 10-year career with 6 different NHL teams, the highlight of his career came with the Los Angeles Kings, where in 1993, you will recall, with much horror and disappointment, playing alongside Wayne Gretzky, they beat us in the 7th game of the semifinals. They advanced to the Stanley Cup and, of course, were eventually lost to the Montreal Canadiens. However, Jim now spends his time sharing his dreams do come true presentations, mentoring and helping people make good life choices. He speaks at schools all over North America. Jim has never been shy, nor has he backed down from anyone, on or off the ice. You may recall Don Cherry confronting him on Coach's Corner when Jim said the NHL needs to eliminate fighting and violence in the game. He truly does want to make hockey a better place to play. We have a small video to show. Jabba, do you mind show us the video of Jim Thompson before I introduce him and have him come up?
Young, inspiring hockey players trying to get to the next level. You guys got us to this point, okay? We just did our thing. You guys have 2 choices. As a threesome, you can go over and say, Paul, misunderstanding, we're sorry, let's move on. Whoa. Now you're challenging me and I won't be challenged. Okay, then you're not going on the ice today. My job is to make you not only better at hockey, but better at life. Wherever you end up playing or going in life, you leave the team, your hockey career will come to an end quickly. Everybody 50, let's go! I want to see some Gretzky spin-ups. I want to see some Ovechkin yelling shots, going for a rebound. Are you kidding? Hey, are you kidding? You got all where to shoot and you put it into his pads? Make the easy play. It's a 3-on-2. You're not going to get better at English if you talk Russian. You guys talk English. What kind of breakout is that? That's house league breakout. I would think by day 4 you would say, I'm going to listen to Jim because I think he knows what he's talking about. The biggest thing about a sport like hockey is about safety. You do not play tomorrow. I want a 350-word essay on why you should wear a neck guard in the game of ice hockey. Family is your blood. Take care of them. Be respectful to mom and dad. Once I figured it out that the whole program had to come together, I played in the NHL. Never looked back. When I walked into my first game with Washington Capitals and my jersey was sitting there, whoa. You want to have a burger and fries 2-3 times a week? You will be out of shape and overweight. I don't do a drug, I don't do a drink, I do nothing but eat healthy and live my life to the fullest. If you're prepared and you've worked hard, you're going to get luck. In everything in life, helping someone before yourself is what life is all about. You may lie to me today, but in about a week or maybe 2 days, I'll catch you in that lie. You live honestly, you live with respect, you help out your parents, your brothers, your sisters. People are going to like you. Coaches and GMs are going to like you, and it's going to give you more opportunity in life. Can't be great here and then be disrespectful at home. That's a phony person. You either do it the whole package or forget it. I don't want you to get depressed. I don't want you to get down. And if that's bringing you down, pick up the phone and say, Jim, what should I do? I say, come over and hang out.
My big dream, of course, is to play professional hockey. I want to play hockey for the rest of my life.
Get my schooling education while playing hockey, that'd be a perfect situation. So I think that's what my main dream would be right now.
Being a leader amongst everything else is my main goal in life.
My dream is definitely to be in the NHL.
Dreams will come true.
Athletes and guests, I give you Jim Thompson.
Thank you, Ron. I'm really not, I don't know. Whoa. They were older. Anyways, I want to thank Ron and Lori and the town of Aurora Sport, for having me in the inaugural Sport Aurora, if you will. And my last inaugural event, I wear this ring proudly. It wasn't a Stanley Cup ring, but I was fortunate enough to play for the Anaheim Mighty Ducks in 1994. And it was an inaugural season that we went on and won the record for most wins in a season, which were 33. And today is an inaugural event in Aurora. It's wonderful to see so many people come, so many great athletes, guest speakers, and I couldn't be more honored to be the MC today, so thank you very much. My message to the athletes before we have breakfast, I know everybody's very hungry, is my mom said to me when I was a young man, find something you love to do, Jim. Find a passion. And for the adults in the room, most of us can back this plan up, if you will. You find something you love to do, you'll never work a day in your life. And from the age of 6, when I picked up a hockey stick and started shooting pucks growing up in Edmonton, it wasn't work. And all the hours behind the scenes that I had to prepare and work to get to the NHL, when I see these young men here training and how hard it is and how hard we got to push them, if you find something you love to do, you'll never work a day in your life. So I think it's time to eat, and I want to thank everybody in Aurora for having me here today. Thank you.
I've learned 2 things this morning. The first thing I've learned is that Ron's dog's name is Daisy. And the second thing is, after watching Jim's video, I will never make it as a professional hockey player. So, keeping that in mind, this is not my speech, Tim. It's just a start of it. I read just a few words to thank you so much for coming out this morning. Sport is an incredibly important part of our town, part of what makes our town very unique. I was a soccer coach at one point. Had a lot of fun doing that. It's just a great thing to do. It's a great way to give back. So I really commend all the parents and the coaches and everybody who goes out and does that, and all the players. I mean, the players always show up and have a good time. So thank you so much for coming out. Thank you for partaking in this first of many Breakfast of Champions, I'm hoping, Ron. Congratulations to you and your committee for organizing this, and enjoy the rest of your morning. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Mayor. I got to go back to what Doug said in his speech about sport brings us back to everything we do. And with the NHL not playing right now, my family, I got baseball on, football, soccer, and they're going, you're crazy. But you know what? I'm a sports fanatic, and that's why we're here today. So it's really, really good stuff. I would like to acknowledge a really, really tough thing to do, and I've been coaching minor hockey back in California when I coached there after retiring. 4 years now here in Ontario. And to win an OMHA championship is a really, really tough thing to do. And I know how tough it was to get to the Stanley Cup final. And for Brian Blazer and his minor midget team, the AE team that I'm going to bring up here next, it's very tough to do. That's all I can say. And congratulations to them for doing it. And at this time, I would like to invite Brian up to introduce his team. Hey, Brian, just so you know, the team I coached in Richmond Hill, Brian knocked us out to go on to that championship. He just reminded me. I'm like, yeah, that's right.
Terrible.
All right. So welcome, everyone, and thanks for being here and acknowledging the efforts of our young athletes. It's amazing. I'll just really quickly say a couple words about the season, and this is really kind of unique because I stepped into the role kind of late in the season or late in the process, and we started going through the tryouts and everything, and what we realized in the end was we had brought on 9 house league players up to a rep program, and so it was a very new experience for a lot of them. And I said to them at the very beginning, there was a couple things I always hoped for. One was that they committed to the program, to their family, and to school, and they all did that. And the other thing that was really important was that we felt like family, and we would always acknowledge each other in the community and beyond hockey. And I can be walking down the street or at a store or something like that, and they're like, hey, Coach Brian, hey, Coach Brian. And that's when you realize it really did come together, when these young men acknowledge you later on and want to say hi and everything. So it's been a pleasure. It was an amazing season. We never even thought about OMHAs, and Jim tested us a little bit, but we were able to push through there, and to their credit and their teammates, they did an amazing job. So well done, boys. All right, so we'll call them up. First one to acknowledge is Scott Costin. Come on up, Scotty. And next we have Joel Govia. All right, next we have Jonathan Reed, better known as JR. Come on up, JR. Next guy was actually brought up as our AP, but wound up being a regular and helped us out quite a bit. So we brought him along today for sure. It's Brett Bond. And we've got Robert Doswell. This one here is always trouble, but we helped him out. That's Jonah Blazer. He got a little extra coaching in the car and at home. Kyle Neese, our captain. And not last, of course, but Brian Langdon.
Smells terrible.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Brian didn't want to wear a shirt. He says it smelled too bad. I said, no, it's like being at home in the dressing room. It's awesome. And there were a bunch of others who couldn't be here this morning, and I know we acknowledge them as well. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Brian, and congratulations, guys. They were a heck of a hockey team. At this time, I would like to invite the 2011 Vice President of the AMHA, Mike Sturgis, to the podium to accept the plaque, which signifies the accomplishment of one of its teams. Mike?
I'd just like to thank everyone for coming, and it was a great accomplishment. We had 2 teams that made it to the OMHAs, the AE team, Bantam AE team, and the Bantam AA team. So I'd just like to acknowledge both. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. All right. Now, Doug told me to tell everybody, this is very informal. If you got to get up, go to the washroom, get a drink, you're allowed to do that. Okay? We're not at a wedding here. May I introduce to you silver sponsor Lee Browning of South Lake Wealth and Estate Group to come up and present the Aurora Minor Baseball with their awards. Lee is the principal and senior partner of South Lake Wealth and Estate Group. South Lake Wealth is a firm that integrates full financial planning. Lee's specialty and passion is helping successful families and business owners plan their way out of tax. Lee, there you are.
Morning, everyone. Both my wife, Brenda, and I recognized very early on in our boys' young lives how sport was so valuable to them and important. When the boys were young, they were involved in t-ball and then softball and then eventually soccer, and played many of the soccer fields throughout Aurora. And then later involved in hockey, which at the ages of 19 and 21 are still involved with. I really commend Sport Aurora on their commitment to our youngsters and growing them up in sport. We have found through our personal experiences that sport have introduced us to some wonderful families and lifelong friendships. And also, sport has taught our children some valuable life lessons. One, the value of humility when winning, and also how to handle losing with respect and dignity. So I just thank you, and I just want to thank you for allowing us to be part of your day. Thank you.
I got to talk a little bit about hockey here. I was actually doing a TSN radio show 3 days ago, I think. They said, you know, you went through a strike. I went through a strike in 91 and then a lockout in 94. They said, so whose side are you on? You're probably on the player's side. And I said, no, I'm not on the player's side. And it's funny, this 50-50 if you've been following the lockout. I said, I look at it this way. You know, when we went on strike, there were certain reasons we did this. When there was a lockout, you know, we had to get a salary cap in 2004, some other things. I said, but I compare it to this. I said, there's $3.3 billion. The NHL is growing, you know, leaps and bounds. And we have all these young soldiers fighting for our freedom with guns over their shoulders in Afghanistan and different places. And I said, it's kind of a shame that when you think of those people over there for our freedom, and one of the things that they are excited about is to watch a Saturday night hockey night in Canada game over there. And I said, when you look at all the dynamics of this lockout, it's actually embarrassing to Gary Bettman, the Players Association, and everybody, that they are actually fighting over money, $3.3 billion. So when I made my, you know, it's 47, 53%, whatever the case may be, it's 50-50, get back on the ice and play hockey, because I'm sure, being sports fanatics in here, we deserve to watch the greatest game in the world. And that's no slight against the swimming and baseball, that is my life. So I'm just telling you a hockey story. It's how I feel. But it's a shame. It's a shame. Okay. I would now like to introduce the Aurora Minor Baseball Association, the Bantam AA boys coach, Stephen Clements. Would you come up, please, Stephen? Stephen is going to bring his team up and introduce them. Here they come. Maybe Stephen will tell us a baseball story. Congratulations to all the guys and coaches.
Thank you very much, Jim. This was truly a remarkable team experience. A lot of these boys played together since they were 7 and 8 years old, played together for 7, 8 years. This was truly a combination with parents, coaches, players, built over many years. We were able to win our league championship first, York Simcoe, finished first place, win the league championship. And then went up to Sault Ste. Marie on Labor Day weekend and went 6-1, won the 2 games with walk-off hits in the bottom of the 7th inning, and had to beat the team twice in the finals to win, which we did. And in the end, every one of these kids put the team above themselves to the point where they wanted, they would even rather have somebody else in the position if they thought they could do a better job for the team and get us home. So truly was a solid team effort all the way around, coaches, parents, and players. So congratulations. It was a great season, and everybody did a great job. And we have 3 guys here actually that just were up here with the previous group. So they had a pretty good sports year. So thank you very much. The first, Graydon Gardner. Ross Ben. One of the guys to win 2 awards, Joel Govaya. Another double dipper, Brian Langdon. Michael Moffat. Jordan Clements. Another 2-time winner here, Jonathan Reed. Nick Catanero. His team lost to the finals, in the finals, the OMHAs, to the other guys there, so. And they beat my Stovall team in the semis, so. Good job. And Paul Neofitu. And the coaches, Nigel Govaya, James Neo, and Peter Gardner. Thank you very much. And also, we have a, this year's team had $400 left over in our team budget, and we agreed to donate it to Kids Can Play. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Very generous. At this time, I would like to invite the president of the AMBA, Dave Giroux, to the podium to accept a plaque which signifies the accomplishment of one of its teams.
Break it. Thank you very much. I'd like to thank all the players and our coaches for the commitment that they've put together for this team. They've been a very successful team, going to the finals last 3 years and winning it last year. Very dedicated bunch of guys, and sorry that some of them will have left the baseball fraternity, but I'm sure they'll move on in greater and better things. So thank you, Ron and Doug and everyone from Sport Aurora, and we hope to have some teams here for next year too. Thank you.
Guys, if you could go to the media center once you're done. Right out there. One more player? Oh, they need one more medal. Do you have? Peter's got a younger daughter he likes to give the medals to. Just joking, Peter. Speaking of another Peter, I've spent some time this morning talking to this young man with a very interesting background, Peter McClellan, and who was a hockey fanatic that turned runner that became one of our championship rowers. Peter attended high school at St. Andrew's College, where he played hockey, football, and lacrosse, but eventually settled on a track and field as his primary sport. After a broken leg derailed his aspirations of going south of the border, he chose to attend Western University in London. He competed on the track team for a year, but after joining the novice rowing team for cross-training purposes, he quickly realized where his true calling lay. Peter graduated from Western with an undergraduate and master's degree in kinesiology, and as an Ontario and Canadian University rowing champion. He went on to the University of Cambridge in England, where he completed a master's degree in management and won the prestigious Oxford-Cambridge boat race in 2010. As a national rowing team competitor, he is a Commonwealth champion, a double Pan American Games medalist, and this past summer he was the spare for the Canadian Olympic team and won a bronze medal at the World Rowing Championships. Proud to call Aurora his home, Peter is currently interviewing and consulting and finances firms in Toronto while he evaluates his future in sport. Here's a video of Peter. Ladies and gentlemen, Peter McClellan.
So I met Jim this morning, and the first thing I said was, it's great to meet you, but you effectively ended my childhood when you beat the Leafs, back 20 years ago, so thanks for that. Thanks very much for that introduction, and it's really great to be here. The first thing I'd like to do before I do anything is thank Doug and Ron and the rest of the committee for putting on this great event. So I think we owe them another round of applause. What a great idea to get all of you successful people together in one room, serve us a delicious breakfast, and get to meet each other and talk to each other and learn from each other. I think this is something as a sport community in Canada that we don't do enough of. We've got all these organizations, and I'm just as guilty in rowing of, it's so insular and you only meet other rowers, and there aren't enough events like this that gather people from different sports together where you can meet people that are so similar to yourselves and pursuing goals that are so like what you're doing. And I couldn't be a bigger fan of this event and of what sport Aurora does in general. I think it's a great thing, and we need more of it, and I'm proud to be part of the inaugural event here. When I got an email from Lori asking me to come and speak here this year, and thank you, Lori, for all the work you've been doing as well. It was April of this year, and I was up in the mountains of Colorado. We were training at altitude with the Canadian Olympic rowing team, and it was a few months before we were going to figure out who was the final people on the roster. And at that time, there was 6 of us left for 4 spots in the men's 4, and I was one of those 6. And I got this email, and I remember we just gotten back from a 3-hour bike ride, and we were at about 8,000 feet, and so the oxygen's thin, and I wasn't thinking very clearly, and of course I accepted right away. What an honor to come and speak to you guys. But I said, what the heck am I going to talk to all these successful, Ontario national champions? What am I going to talk to them about? What do I have to offer these people? Certainly, if any of the people in this room would see me swim or try to hit a baseball, I certainly cannot help you in your sports. But what I can do is maybe offer an idea. And it's something that right now, as I go on, and I'm not sure whether I'm going to go back to rowing or whether I'll move on to real life. So it's something I've been kind of thinking about, and I spoke a few weeks ago at St. Andrews, my former school, and having to prepare for that speech forced me to kind of hash out some things. And this is where I thought about this idea. And it's pretty simple, and I think most of the people in this room probably already implicitly do it. And it's something that sport forces us to do. And the idea is to continually live life like this rather than like this. And it's a pretty simple idea, and I think, and let me explain. When I left Aurora for Western 10 years ago now, I'd never rowed before. I'd never been in a boat, never picked up an oar, had no idea what it was. But I had this grounding, I had this background in sport. I knew how to work, I knew what a team was, I knew what it took to succeed. And I went to Western, I learned how to row. 10 years later, I was, within a whisker of being on the Olympic team. This year, when I wasn't selected for the team, and to this day I'm angry about it. I don't agree with the decision, but the decision, that was it, and it wasn't mine to make, and I'm upset about it. And when it happened, I said, man, I'm angry about this, and it was all for naught. It was all useless, and I shouldn't have done it. Then I stepped back and I said, wait a second. I had this goal when I started rowing. I said, I want to make an Olympic team. I'd like to represent my country at the Olympic Games. And along the way, going for this goal that was pretty outlandish at the start, along the way I was able to do all these great things that I'm so proud of. I was able to represent my country 15 times. I rowed in 12 or 13 countries around the world, rowed for arguably two of the best university rowing programs in the world. And none of that would have been possible without this goal that was way up there. And whether or not I reached that goal, which ultimately I didn't, I'm still proud of what I was able to do along the way. And I think that idea that striving for something and continually going after something, whether it's in sport or your lives, is this idea that I offer to all of you. And I think it's something that sport forces us to do. It says, you've got a game, you've got a championship, you've got a playoff, you've got a race. It's on this date. You need to go this fast. You need to be able to play this kind of defense, this kind of offense by this time. But I think it's very easy when we get into our normal lives to just kind of maintain the status quo. And I think as athletes, and certainly successful athletes, which we have many of in this room, I think that's something that you already do now, and I would challenge you to take that forward, whether you go on in sport or go on in real life or whatever it might be. So thank you very much for having me. It's an honor to be here. And again, congratulations to everyone on your achievements. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Peter. And, listening to Peter, I think you're going to be very successful in whatever you do, Peter. And I got to just say this about the town of Aurora. I've been now in Aurora 2 years. I lived in King City. I lived in Richmond Hill for a number of years. And competing against Aurora sports, whether it was my daughter in soccer or what have you, and to me, Aurora is a way of life. You guys do it differently, and I'm so honored and proud to be part of it with athletes like Peter and the champions in this room. And what Sport Aurora and Laurie and Ron have done here, it's going to grow and grow. And it's a powerful thing, Aurora Sport. I'm going to tell you this. When you go to the soccer fields, when you go to the hockey arenas, you got beautiful arenas, or we do now, it's really, really powerful energy, and we should all be thankful of that. Now we're going to introduce Team Storm Bolts, winner of the Under 14 Girls Ontario Championships in 2011. And if I could ask Ray Kong to come up and say a few words, please.
Actually, we were fortunate to win the U14 and this year the U15 championships too, so to repeat was pretty amazing for these girls. I'd like to take this opportunity to be thankful and grateful for all the people that made this season success, starting with probably the most important person, Bruce Stafford, the president of Aurora Storm, giving us an opportunity to play for an incredible club and organization. He's not here today, but our heart's with him. He is currently, again, volunteering and doing a Stormhouse League as we speak, working with the younger ones now. I'd also like to thank the Remedies RX, our sponsor, and I'd like to thank our co-coaches, Mike Jones and Terry Wonzine. Their dedication and passion for bringing it to every tournament, every practice is unbelievable. But I'd also like to thank our parents being so supportive, as you all are, driving the athletes, making sure that they get there on time. To be successful, we need them there, and the parents are doing a great job. And more importantly, our manager, Janice Harrington, and as you know, the manager is probably more important than the coaches in many cases. Booking hotels, it's unbelievable. I'd like to hand this over now to Mike Jones, one of the co-coaches, just talk about our season quickly. Thank you.
Actually, just a little quick story. Ray and Terry and I are actually all high school teachers and high school coaches as well. So it's interesting that we see these girls not only as club players but also as high school players. And it's funny when we've had this discussion that when we see them out there playing for their high school teams, yeah, they look good, and usually they're one of the best players on their team. But if you looked at them and saw them playing, you wouldn't say, wow, there's a provincial champion player. A player maybe playing at the highest levels. But when you see them playing together as a team, you say, wow, there's a great volleyball player. So volleyball and all these sports are teams where you have to play together as a team. And these girls have certainly demonstrated that. As maybe we don't have the best individual athletes, but as a team, they play tenaciously. They just play and they bring that together, and they play so well together. So we're very fortunate to have that, and that's why they are, two-time provincial champions. So I'm just going to call the girls up now. So first of all, Kate Moody. Rachel. Laura Kong. Camille Garzon. Ashley Deline. Regan Harrington. Mel Issip. Nicole Bombin. And I just want to mention three players who are not here are Christina Alabastro, Taylor Morell, and the last one is a player, Cassie Clark. And despite her family's heritage in sports, and in particular in hockey, she has decided that volleyball is the greatest sport in the world. And then lastly, Terry Wonzine, who is another co-coach. Thank you very much. Thanks.
Congratulations, ladies. And I will tell you that I enjoyed the Olympic volleyball. Was very, very exciting this year. Okay, we're off to now. We're going to introduce the next Storm team, winners of the Under 15 Girls National Championships of 2009-2010. And I would like to bring up now Jim Pursa, if he could come up, please.
Morning, everyone. First of all, I'd like to thank Sport Aurora for allowing us to celebrate this great achievement one more time. This was 4 years ago, so I guess it's fair to say we're really milking this one now, but even back then I told the girls, what we achieved back then was an outstanding an achievement that it may take a few years to fully appreciate. And here we are again. So I had the privilege of coaching this particular group of athletes for 4 years. Really a great group of athletes. And 4 years ago, they came second in Ontario. I have to admit there were a few tears after that tournament. But they persevered and they brought it together, and we trained really hard for a few more weeks. And we flew out to the University of Calgary, and we proceeded to beat the best of the best in our country. We went 9-0, 9 matches, undefeated, and that was an absolutely outstanding accomplishment. And it's a privilege to be able to recognize this one more time. I'd like to also take this opportunity to thank my assistant coach during those 4 years, Phil Scharf. Phil remained coaching with this team. He went on to stay with them for a few more years until they graduated last year at 18U. Phil coached for 7 years, and this is his first year of taking on a head coaching role with the Storm Volleyball Club. So congratulations to Phil for sticking with the group and going on to his headship role this year. I'll just finish with, Phil jotted this down for me as we were sitting there. This particular group of athletes, they went on over 6 years to win 1 Ontario Gold, 2 Ontario Silvers, an Ontario Bronze, a National Silver, and a National Gold. No other team in their age group accomplished as much, so a great achievement. So we have a small group today representing. These girls are now in their first year of university, so many of them are out of town. So I'd like to, representing today are Katie David and Sarah Cunningham Scharf. And the assistant coach, Phil Scharf. Thank you once again.
Thank you very much. I love the smiles of the young ladies, the excitement. It's wonderful. Now I would like to call up the winners in the Storm Avalanche of the Under-17 Nationals 2011, and Howie Grossinger. If you could please come up and, is Howie here? Howie's not here. Okay. We got a Cameron maybe. Is Cameron here? Lori? Okay, so Peter, how would you like to accept the award? Okay, we'll get to it. So we are recognizing the Under-17 Storm Avalanche winners. Okay. Well, Peter, you can take that. Okay. Okay, here we go. I would like to now introduce to you Eric Cartledge. I've been waiting for this one, Eric. You've got lots to talk about. Eric is from Parasport, Ontario. He will come up and say a few words. Come on up, Eric.
Welcome, everyone. First off, I want to just say one word is wow. This room is full of amazing people, amazing athletes, and very inspiring athletes. I have two young children right now, and I hope that ages 5 and 2 right now, so I hope that they're able to accomplish some of the things that all the people in this room have accomplished, not only just the successes on the field or the court, but some of the character and some of the determination and perseverance that the athletes in this room have showed. So another round of applause for everyone. In my job at Parasport Ontario, I get to work with a lot of inspiring athletes, a lot of athletes who've overcome quite a lot of, whether it be injury, whether it be traumatic events in their life, and come out very, very positive on the other side. And today I get to introduce someone who's done just that. Summer Mortimer was a competitive, able-bodied swimmer before she had an accident during her former sport of trampoline, but she has become one of the top swimmers in the world in para swimming. And right now, she's established herself by holding world records in the 50 freestyle, the 100-meter freestyle, the 50-meter backstroke, the 100-meter backstroke, and the 200-meter backstroke. At the 2012 Paralympic trials in Montreal, Summer eclipsed her 50 free world record that she set at the 2010 World Championships. And this year, in London at the Paralympic Games, she won 2 gold in the 50 freestyle and 100 backstroke, setting world record times, a silver in the 200 individually medley, and a bronze medal in the 100-meter freestyle. It's pretty amazing. Summer, who is coached by Dred Chappelle, who's sitting at the table over there at Duck Swimming in Aurora, credits her success to properly managing her training regime through the month leading up to the Paralympic Games. Coach Reg really understood me and found a way to get me fit throughout my injuries and limited ability to train. That was a quote from Summer. According to Reg, attitude was everything. The goal was to stay positive, enjoy the training, and give the best and accept the results. And the result is Summer was very relaxed as she walked on deck for the finals, smiling, bouncing, and waving to the crowd. Once on the block, she locked in her focus and did some fantastic things in the pool. Summer's ultimate strength was her ability to focus, to follow her race strategy, block out the pain, and that's some of the few things that make Summer such an amazing athlete. So Summer, we have a short video, and then can you please come up?
The women's 100 metres backstroke S10. Well, once again, an interesting lineup because we have the Paralympic record holder, Sophie Pascal, right next door to Mortimer. Sophie Pascal right next door to Summer Ashley Mortimer in 3. Mortimer set that record 2 years ago. Summer Ashley Mortimer, the world record holder, goes in 3. Third fastest to qualify with 1:09.92. 19 years of age from Canada. Nicely away in lane 4, Sophie Pascoe, the fastest start there, and good underwater as well. Pascoe leading at 15 metres. She was away in 0.55, an absolute dramatic start for her. Third place is Sapiro, Mortimer in second. Pascoe still leading. Split time of 31.88, Pascoe, Mortimer, Sapiro. So it's New Zealand leading, Canada in second, South Africa in third, but here comes the charge of the world record holder in lane number 3, Mortimer from Canada, really challenging Sophie Pascoe from New Zealand. Pascoe's tiring and tightening as Mortimer charges again. Summer Ashley Mortimer from Canada in lane 3 takes the lead inside the final 5. It's going to go to Mortimer in 3, 1:05.90 for a fantastic new world record ahead of Sophie Pascoe. Pascoe taking the silver, Sapiro the bronze. Mortimer timed that to perfection. Remarkable swimming. Summer Ashley Mortimer, the Paralympic champion, the gold medalist London 2012. Wow, she's saying, always jolly, always smiling, always happy, always enjoying the moment, no matter what event she races. That was her main event. That lady there could do nothing about it. That lady there is pleased with herself, Sapiro from South Africa, but that's the champion. Mortimer of Canada. The women's 100 metres backstroke, S10. There is the champion.
The winner of the gold medal and Paralympic champion, representing Canada, Sama Mortimer.
She rejoices, loves every moment. Summer Ashley Mortimer of Canada, the 19-year-old, storming home, breaking her own world record. Summer Ashley Mortimer, the Paralympic champion, the gold medalist, London 2012.
Ladies and gentlemen, Summer, come on up.
They did a great job on that video. I feel it was intense. I got goosebumps. It was really well done. Thank you for that. Well, good morning, everyone. I just wanted to say thank you for having me out. When Reg invited me to come speak here, I was very excited to be part of this event. You know, like Peter said, I think it's really important to have these kind of events where, you know, you have so many up-and-coming athletes and accomplished young athletes with, you know, their coaches, their friends, their family, everyone who supports them, and we can really interact and get to know each other on different levels. I think it's really important. I definitely think we need more of it. You know, to see each different sport here, I think there's a lot of common aspects within every sport. You know, the time dedication, time management, commitment, just basically the qualities you gain as being an athlete and being involved in sport. I think it's really important to carry throughout your life, and I think that really prepares us well for the events that happen. Obviously, I didn't expect to go through my accident in 2008 after Beijing Olympic trials, and they expected me to be on the Olympic team for swimming for London, and now I'm on the Paralympic team. And being an athlete, I definitely feel that the pool helped me learn how to walk again, and it helped me to really strive for different goals and to be able to adapt to unexpected events. And that's what I think we really strive as athletes to accomplish, is being able to deal with unexpected things and really strive and push to be better than the best are at the moment. You know, a world record is just another time, and it's something to be beat. You know, a championship title is just a title, and you're meant to beat them in a game. Every sport has very similar qualities, and I think that it's great that everyone's here. So thank you for having me, and enjoy the rest of the day.
That's really powerful. Wow. Congratulations. I would like to introduce to you now the Duck Swim Club Provincial Champions of 2011 and the coach of the 2012 Paralympic Games, President Reg Chapo. Please come up, Reg. And Summer.
Thanks, Jim. And I, too, would like to challenge you as to the best sport. But that said...
Well, after seeing that, swimming by far. Oh.
That said, all sport is great for our kids and for us as adults as well. We all want to stay involved. And thank you to Sport Aurora for putting this event on, recognizing our athletes and the success that we've had in the town of Aurora going forward. Duck swimming has had a great year this year with lots of success at many levels, And this is due to our great coaching staff and how well they work together. I'd like to call up our award winners, if they'd come up from the table, Erica and Evan. Some of our swimmers and coaches are missing as they're at a swim meet at the University of Toronto today. Coach Sam and Yana Montgomery, Coach Sam Kezar, who won 3 medals at the provincial team championships. She's at the swim meet this weekend. Evan Friend, come on up, Evan. Evan won 1 medal at the provincial team championships. Erica Savage. Erica also won a medal at provincial team championships. Also, Coach Nick Rotman coached Victoria Wicks, and they're both at the meet this weekend. Victoria won 2 medals at the provincial team championships and 2 medals at the provincial individual championships. And Coach Reg, Coach Summer, and we've just seen what she's done. So she's also was involved in our provincial championships as well as going off to the Olympic trials where she won 4 events there as well. Anyways, to the swimmers, well done. To the coaches, thank you for a job well done and the support you have within our team. Thank you.
Wait, my turn.
Thank you, Reg. Oh, we got some more swimmers coming? Oh. So Lori and Ron asked me, keep the crowd on their toes, and I just felt at the start of it, if I, with all the different sports in here, I love all sports. But I thought if I'd say, hockey's the sport, I'd get the attention I'm getting from Reg and these other people. So, Ron, I did my job. All right, I would now like to introduce the Masters Duck Swim Triathlon Club, provincial champions of 2011, and we'd like to introduce their coach, Jim Talbot. Come up, please, Jim. Yes, we got to, Reg, we're going to give you a plaque here. Sorry, Jim.
You get your plaque. I'm on
Yeah, it wasn't in my notes.
Come on up, Reg.
Again?
Congratulations.
Yes, we're going to have to stop doing this. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, Jim Talbot, come on up, please.
Thank you, Jim. Have to put this down. Want to say thank you to Sport Aurora. Echo the comments that all the other coaches and teams have said for putting this wonderful event together. I also want to recognize the fact that they are recognizing master athletes, not just the young athletes. I would like to introduce some of our provincial champions. We do not have a full team here, but we have some. Les Lindquist, who won a gold medal in the 200 backstroke and a gold medal in the relay. Kathy McKnight, winner of gold medals in the 100 fly and the 50 breaststroke. Lori Hawes, winner in the 50, the 100, and 200 backstroke and the 50 fly. Dan Thompson, winner in the 50 and 100 fly. Provincial champions, everybody.
I would like to acknowledge that Jim Talbot will accept this plaque on behalf of Nancy Black, Adam Porteris, who could not be here today. So. I would like to introduce to you now Seneca College as our silver sponsor of this event. Please welcome Seneca rep to the podium. I don't have a name for him. Come on. It's Daniel.
Thanks, Daniel.
Well, thanks. What a great morning it is here, actually. And again, congratulations to everyone, and thanks, Sports Aurora. It's just really wonderful to be here. And it's Seneca's pleasure to sponsor and support the Sport Aurora's inaugural Breakfast of Champions. It's an honor to celebrate with you the impressive successes of your teams and everything that they've achieved. Success requires an integrated and dedicated approach, not only from each and every one of your athletes, but coaches, trainers, parents, staff, and of course, all the hundreds of volunteers. You are all to be congratulated on everything you've done to create this winning formula. Success and the pursuit of excellence are values that Sports Aurora, the championship league's teams here today, and Seneca all share. Seneca student athletes have won more medals than any other college in the history of the Ontario Colleges Athletic Association. And we are equally proud of the excellence our student athletes demonstrate in the classroom, with 35 earning academic honors. And for any of you in the room who are interested in joining a Seneca team, coming to Seneca, please speak to Linda Stapleton here, who's our Director of Sports and Recreation, and she'll help you on your way. As you share a passion for your sport, so do we share a passion for our school. And to win the championships we are celebrating today, you have to all demonstrate hard work, ambition, and that approach, that culture, is also what Seneca's about. So again, we salute your tremendous achievements and wish you continued success in the future. And thanks again for allowing us to share this with you.
Thank you, Daniel. We'd like to call up now the Central York Girls Hockey League, the Panthers Midget A Provincial Champions of 2010-2011, along with their coach, Dan Coldwell. Come on up, please.
Everything was fine until Jim Talbot got at the microphone here. There we go. Happen to agree with Jim Thompson that hockey is the greatest sport in the world, particularly girls hockey. I will say this, though, that one year we did, instead of doing dryland training, we did wetland training with the Master Ducks, and the girls absolutely loved getting to the pool and working out in the pool rather than working out at practice. I was actually wondering where all the tall hockey players were in Aurora. Apparently they're all playing volleyball for the Storm. So. Came in here this morning. Great to see the pictures up on the PowerPoint display. There's a great picture of our team. The girls look fantastic. It's not such a great picture of me. I kind of look like Uncle Fester without the light bulb. So. Oh, is this on? Is that? So. A lot of our girls are away at university, and they weren't able to make it. And we won this championship last year, and to see so many of them have gone away, and the level of maturity when they come back for a bit. And even my own daughter Danielle, she's been away at school, and she's already learned the value of a give and take relationship. She comes back, she gives us her dirty laundry, and she takes all our groceries. I was driving to the rink. I'll get to hockey in a second. I was driving to the rink about 10 years ago, and my dad calls me, and he asked me where I was off to. And I said, I'm just going down to Newmarket Community Center to play hockey with the girls. And he said, oh, is that barn still there? I said, yeah. Dad, the place was really old when I used to play hockey there in the early 70s. And my dad told me, he says, oh, it was old when I played there in the 40s. And he told me that his worst hockey experience was there. And he said that the entire family came out to watch him play, and he got a hat trick. I said, Dad, you got a hat trick and it was your worst hockey experience? He said, yeah, we lost 15-3. And the reason why I tell that story is that individual accomplishment really means nothing unless you have a team environment and the team is successful. And that's really the strength of these young ladies here. They were so dedicated to their team and to their teammates. They were a treat to coach. Towards the end of the year, I could just put a practice plan on the wall. And they ran the drills. They encouraged each other. They worked so hard. They were so dedicated. They loved each other, respected each other, and it was just a wonderful, wonderful environment. No wonder they were so successful. One of the things that I'm proudest about our team is their conduct both on and off the ice. We would have referees come up and compliment us about the execution and the sportsmanship that our players would display. I would go on the road with this team, and hotel managers would come up to me and just say, we'd welcome you back anytime. In restaurants, we were always welcomed in restaurants because they were such a class act. And that's all part and parcel of being a true champion, is the way that they conduct themselves on and off the ice. They were such a treat to work with. We had great success. We played 81 games. We won 67 of those. There were 67, 8-6. We went to the provincial championships, and I always told them that offense wins games, defense wins championships. And they finally believed me on the championship weekend, because in the quarterfinals, we won 2-0 with one of those goals being an empty netter. The semifinals, we won 0, and we beat Scarborough in the gold medal game 1-0. So I think they kind of like, hey, he knows what he's doing. Last game of the season, they took him to figure it out, but that's okay. Before I introduce the players, just some thanks. Thanks to Sport Aurora for hosting this morning. It's a wonderful idea. It's a great way to bring the community together, and it's great to see the other champions in our town. I'd like to thank our staff from our team. Without the Clarks and Brenda Anderson, Darcy, Rick Plume, who's not here this morning. Just there's so many people that contributed to our success. Catherine Bostelman. There's 3 of those people that I mentioned that don't have kids on the team. And they did it because they love their community, they love the sport, and it was just wonderful to have them along with us. I'd like to thank our parents, the most supportive parents that you could ever imagine in that group, and of course our executive at Central York for all their support over the years. Scott McVeigh, Linda Johnson, that group, they were wonderful to us. So I'm going to introduce our players. Hallie Manson. Leah Amson. Taylor McVeigh. At least we got one from volleyball here. Ashley Smith. Taylor Plume. Alicia Todd. Lindsay O'Neill. Congratulations. Maddie Miller. Good job. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much. Congratulations, ladies. May I introduce to you the president of the Central York Girls Hockey League, Katie Williams. Could Katie come up, please? Katie will receive a plaque in acknowledgement of your achievements for your club.
Thank you very much. On behalf of Central York Girls Hockey, I'm actually standing in for our president. He's on vacation, Mike Shields. And I'd like to introduce you to Jane King. She's our vice president of the rep division. And we just want to say thank you very much and congratulations to all the teams. Thank you.
Unfortunately, due to circumstances beyond his control, John Hastings could not be with us today. John Hastings is a member of the Canadian national kayak team and has been part of the RBC Olympians program for 2 years. John finished the season ranked first in Canada and 8th overall in the world. He was the 2008 national champion and was an alternate on the 2008 Olympic team. On his behalf, Peter McClellan will be presenting the next few awards. Come on up, Peter. I would like to call up now the Aurora Skating Club, coached by Andy Klein. Please come up, Andy.
First of all, I'd like to thank the committee for hosting this great event, Doug, Lori, and Ron. Also like to add that Skating Club of Aurora is appreciative of all the contributions being made to the club, and we're acknowledging Lauren Cooper. She was a student I taught for 10 plus years. In that time, she competed at the Central Ontario Triathlon event where she placed first in Ontario. Later, she went on to compete in All Ontario Trillium Championships in North Bay, where she placed third overall. Lauren is a dedicated athlete. She's so dedicated, she's actually studying for her exams at her chiropractic college in Toronto, so she could not be here. She's also graduated in honors with the Bachelor of Science at Western, and she, again, regretted not being here, but again, as dedicated as she is, she knows that her exams are a priority for her at this time. So unfortunately, she could not be here, but I'd again like to accept this award on her behalf. But better yet, I know her mom's in the audience, and I know she put a lot of time and energy in helping her daughter out, be the best she could be. And on behalf of all the parents that are here today, I'd like to actually call her up and hand the award to her. So, here, Barb. Thank you very much.
I would like to introduce at this time the team of Evolution Gymnastics Aurora coach Sean Heaslip. If Sean and Sarah could come up, please. And Bruce Smith.
Okay. Everyone hear me? Okay. Men's artistic gymnastics, we have 6 events. We have floor, pommel, vault, rings, high bars, P-bars. Did I get them all? Okay. Pound for pound, these athletes are probably the strongest ones out there. And I will have to say, if it were easy, they'd call it hockey. Okay? Okay. Now, I have to give some kudos to the help that these athletes have had along the way besides myself. I need to acknowledge Warren and Carol, our fellow coaches out there. There's one that's not here, Tyler, who also should be acknowledged. And I would like to acknowledge Sarah and Bruce for all their efforts, because the club that we have is absolutely the best, bar none. The efforts they've put into this club to organize it, structure it, and develop our program has been amazing. And without them, it basically would not have been a huge positive training environment. We have 3 athletes that come from out of this area. 1 travels from Keswick all the way down to Aurora. 2 come from north of Sutton. They have to be my kids, so we're not north of Sutton. Down to Aurora, so it's an hour one way, okay? But the positive environment that we have to train in, it makes it worth it, okay? These kids put in 12 plus hours a week. Sorry, maybe young kids and young men, my apologies. And they have shown huge results. They, I think for the different levels and different age groups, they were on podium at championships, placing 2nd. And so let's get to them then, shall we? First, Kieran Heaslip. Next we have Brendan Canning. Then we have Kieran Such. And last but not least, Seamus Heaslip. Sarah, Bruce, did you want to say anything? Or that? That's it? Okay. Thanks very much.
And Peter, if you would present Sarah and Bruce with the plaque, please. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Well, Ron, you got your wish. You're sparking the crowd. I love it. At my behalf. Terrible. I would like to introduce to you the last presenter of the morning, a gold sponsor of the breakfast, Mr. Jim Norther of Norther Science and Recognition. Please also take notice that Northers has provided our champions with their awards and plaques this morning. So thank you, Jim and Northers. Come on up.
Thank you, Jim. When I got a call from Ron to be involved with this event this morning, I talked to one of our team members, our general manager, Hector, who drove down with me, and I said it aligns so well with our values of community and collaboration that we're in. And as I was eating breakfast this morning, I was thinking about commitment and contribution. The chicken contributed, but the pig was committed. And as I got to know Doug, Lori, and Ron and their committee, I have to say that these are fine, committed individuals that have done just a tremendous job here this morning. I'm a proud Canadian. I just came back from Chicago. I was down there at a conference. There was 2,700 delegates. My job was to bring these people back to Toronto next year. And even though I'm from London, I'm a true Canadian who believes that, just as Peter talked this morning about raising the bar, that we continually have to raise that bar and bring folks together and collaborate. And this conference is just that. It's bringing business people together to collaborate on best practices so that we can keep manufacturing in this country, great country of ours. So as I was driving down this morning, I said to Hector, not sure what I'm going to say, but I thought, I always like, as Jim had mentioned this morning, be casual. It's not like a wedding. And whenever I go to weddings, I always like the part where the speeches are, because that's the best part. It's the experiences. And so as I sat there this morning, not once did I yawn, even though I left London at 6:30 this morning. But as I was in Chicago, and I said to Hector, I said, I've never seen so many Irish pubs in any one city. It's like they're on every corner, every bus stop. I'm sure many of you have heard, you've heard about the Irishmen that come out of the bar. No? It could happen. It did a few times when I was there. Anyways, I'd just like to say that this morning, life is like a grindstone. It can grind you down or it can polish you up. Mornings like today really do polish us all up, bring us together. It's so great to hear the young people that are coming up here talking, the future leaders of our country, the coaches, the accolations, the first team that came up, Brian from the OMHA, he even had an AP player here up on stage getting an award. We're constantly bringing our folks, sharing, what it is that we do so that we can keep these athletes doing what they do. So, and as I say in the dictionary, the only time success comes, or as they say, the only time that success comes before work is in the dictionary. There's been a lot of hard work up here, and this is one individual that looks at athletes and say, well done. Thanks.
Thank you very much. For the last award, may I call up the Master Duck Swim and Triathlon Club's both provincial and national swimmer of 2011, Mr. Dan Thompson. Also Coach Jim Talbot and the chair of the committee, Doug Legalis. I hope I said that right. Come on up, guys.
Excuse me. Have to bring it down again. Dan Thompson. What can be said about Dan Thompson? Dan is a humble swimmer and does not like to brag about his accomplishments, even though he has earned every right to do so. It is an honor just to be in the same pool with him, let alone working with him in hopes of Dan breaking a world record or two his next time out. Yes, that's what I said, a world record. In fact, 2. Dan swam a 26.62 for his 50 fly world record and a 59.82 for his 100 fly world record at the National Swimming Championships. Dan Thompson was a member of the 1980 Olympic team, the swim team that was ever, sorry. We didn't go. The team that was being sent was probably one of Canada's strongest Olympic teams ever assembled. Dan Thompson won 2 silver medals at the Pan American Games in 1979, won back-to-back golds in the 100 fly at the Commonwealth Games in 1978 and 1982, as well as a member of the men's 4x100 medley relay gold-winning team. Excuse me. As said earlier, Dan is a very humble individual and treats all others on the Masters team with the utmost respect. When called upon, Dan is helped by working with other team members, helping them with their stroke and turns. Thank you.
I'd like to also say a few words. Dan, thank you very much for coming out. I know that you're a humble guy, and I know that when we were emailing back and forth, you felt this was about the kids. And that's just the kind of guy that Dan is. But to me, Dan exemplifies the embodiment of sport for life. How many people can you see that swims their entire life and still strives to be the very best? And I see it firsthand in the pool, and it is an honor to swim in the pool, the same pool as Dan. I would also like to mention that Dan, not only does he continue to swim, but he continues to do, in his professional life, he's a president of the Canadian Tire Jumpstart Charities. It's a national program aimed to help families in monetary need, to provide children the opportunity to play sport. And I think that says it all about Dan. And I just wanted to bring back up summer to present Dan with his award for his national championship. So please give a round of applause for Dan Thompson. Yeah, please.
Thanks, everyone. It's great to be here, and I do feel rather mature but I'm glad I'm at my table of Master Ducks. And what it's really about is taking the life skills, the things that you learn from sport, and using it for the rest of your life. So I think I speak on behalf of the Master Ducks and all the mature adults who are in the room. Enjoy the experience you're having right now in sport, because it's really shaping who you are, and make sure that you give more than you take, whatever you do, and whether that's coaching, whether that's being the best parents you can be. But I really hope that one day when you're north of 55, you're all active in sport, and that you're enjoying it, and it's part of your life, and you're giving back. So I'm honored to be here, and thanks so much, and let's bring back some more hardware for Aurora in the years to come. Thanks so much.
So this almost concludes our morning. Thank you very much to all our athletes. Congratulations. Thank you for everybody for coming out and supporting. It was a wonderful event, and I think we got through it in a nice, timely manner. I would like to thank the Mansion Event Center, Joe and Kathy, for putting and helping us with this event. So thank you very much. It was a very nice. I would also at this time like to, I was remiss in thanking James Powell. And James, if you can stand up. James is a co-op student that's helped out Lori through this event, and so I want to say thank you very much, James. And finally but not least, I want to thank our MC, Jim Thompson. He volunteered his time, came out. He's obviously a very passionate man, not only about sport, but also in general about life and trying to make every day better. So a big round of applause, please, for Jim for coming out.
Thank you very much. I was honored to be here. I don't look at it as volunteering my time. It would only be fair, my mentor and idol growing up in Edmonton was Wayne Gretzky. And for all our young athletes here today, I want to share a message from him, what I learned, and I carry on now in my life and hand over to other young athletes and people. If you've ever met Wayne Gretzky, and I say this, he's a better man than he was a hockey player. And you look at Walter and his late mother Phyllis, the way he was raised, it was all about respect. And he was always putting everybody before himself. And when you see Wayne, it's like, he's the he's the attention. And it's really not like that. We'd get into Boston at 3 in the morning, and he would stand at the doorway of a bus. There'd be hundreds of people outside waiting. We'd play the next night. In the middle of winter, he would stand at the door of the bus and sign as many autographs as he could that night, and then he would say, "Come back tomorrow and I'll finish it off." And for all of us, reach out to the people before yourself as an athlete. And that's what being a teammate, I call it Aurora team power. And when I said that energy, when you walk into the rinks, the baseball fields, the soccer fields, there's a lot of energy in Aurora, and let's keep it going. And to Ron and Lori, to Doug, this was an amazing event, and I hope to be at it again next year. I want to thank everybody for coming out and being patient. Thank you. I think that's it, Doug. Yeah.
Thank you for the award. Okay, so thanks again, everybody. We appreciate it. I also want to acknowledge the volunteers from the Ducks for helping us out today. It's been staying on stage this entire time. So thank you very much. Take care, everybody.
Hi, we're here at the Breakfast of Champions, and we have 3 of our presenters, the special guests that we have here today. On my left, we've got Summer Mortimer, then Peter McClellan, and Jim Thompson, who is our MC. So, lady and gentlemen, just a couple of your thoughts of what you saw today, how you're feeling about this. All of you had plenty of things to say, but I'm just wondering if you got anything that's a final word. Summer?
It was just an amazing experience to have all the athletes and have everyone who's involved. I mean, coaches are a part, families are a part, friends are a part, and to be able to interact and be together and learn about the other sports and really get to know each other and what each other's passions are about. It's a great experience.
Great, thanks. How about you, Peter?
Yeah, huge honor to be here. It was great to see so many different sports under one roof, and I think it's something that we need to do more of. And you know, to someone mentioned best practices, I think there's a lot to be gained from each other, and so it was an honor to be part of the inaugural event, and I hope it continues on for a long time.
Yeah, we're really happy to have both of you here. Now, Jim, you are the MC of the event. Any final words, anything you have to say about the event itself, or anything else you'd like to add in?
Well, I would say this is, it's nice that you can bring this group together, the athletes, the parents, the guest speakers, all that, finally, and the inaugural event to me was a big success, and let's keep doing it and bringing Aurora athletes together. It was wonderful.
Great, thanks for all three of you for what you've done to contribute to this.